All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Pitts. I'm going to make a brief announcement before we get started. Each of you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one may be appointed to represent you. There is an application that you must complete and possibly a fee for you to pay. You also have the right to a trial. At your trial, you have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine any witnesses that the city might bring to testify against you. You have the right to bring your own witnesses, and you have the right to testify on your own behalf. You also have the absolute right to remain silent and to know that your silence will not be held against you. Today, you are here for a first appearance, which means you're here for me to inform you of your charges, set your bond, and give your next court date. You do also have the right in some cases to have a probable cause or a preliminary hearing. At that hearing, the officer will be present, possibly any victims and witnesses. Everyone will have a chance to be heard, and the court at that time will determine whether a crime has been committed and whether it's more likely than not that you are the person who committed the crime. If the court finds that there is probable cause, then the case moves to the next step. If there is no probable cause, then the charges are dismissed. Again, that hearing does not take place today. This is your first appearance, which means you're here to find out your charges, your bond amount, and your next court date. All right, thank you. All right, sir, at the window, if you'll tell me your name. Yes.
Kingston.
Excuse me?
Kingston Lister.
Kingston Lister.
Yes, ma'am.
One moment. All right, Mr. Lister.
Ma'am.
You have two charges, one for possession of marijuana less than an ounce, the other for driving while license suspended or revoked. You have a $1,000 bond for each charge, making your total bonds $2,000. Will you be able to post bond?
Not without a bondsman.
I'm sorry?
Not without a bondsman.
Yeah, you'll call the bonding company.
Oh, yeah, with a bondsman, yes, ma'am.
All right. If you're still here, I'm meaning unable to post bond, you'll be brought back on. Is it going to be Wednesday, Miss Cheater?
Monday.
Monday, okay. Which is that's right, Monday's the 3rd. I'm thinking that Monday's the 4th. Or you'll be brought back on Monday. And then Mr. Lister, I believe that you had a application for court-appointed counsel.
Yes, ma'am.
But I have some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
If you would bear with me a moment. Or Mr. Lister, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you provide to the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self you got?
Yes, ma'am.
Give me one moment. You can lower your hand. I have to look at a couple of different screens, so bear with me. Mr. Lister, the amount you put down here is what you receive every week. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Depending on if I'm at that job.
All right. And do you pay any rent?
No, ma'am.
No rent?
No, ma'am.
And you said if you're at this job, what do you mean by that?
They got the job I work for, gotta send me like a project to work on.
Say that again?
The job I work for, if they don't send me no project, I ain't got no work.
So how often do you work?
They've been pretty consistent lately.
Okay. All right. Well, based on that information, you do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So you will have to either hire your own attorney or represent yourself.
Mhm.
Okay. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir. Let's see. The next person is going to be Dear Brown. Sir, if you'll switch, someone else needs to come up. Dear Brown. Are you Mr. Brown?
No, ma'am,
I'm calling for Dear Brown.
he's not here. He's not here.
Next person is Marcus Griggs. Mr. Griggs, you have one charge of disorderly conduct, being in or around gaming or drugs and alcohol. Your bond amount is $1,000. Will you be able to post bond?
Right.
I couldn't hear you.
So try to.
All right. If you're not able to post bond, then you'll also be brought back on Monday, okay? And I believe you also filled out a application, and I have questions for you as well. 1 second. Mr. Griggs, it looks like you also have another case of failure to appear from 2019, where you failed to appear in court on a possession of marijuana charge. Currently have bond set at that, excuse me, set on those cases. The failure to appear is $1,000 and the possession of marijuana is $1,000. So a total of $2,000 on that second case, which is the older case.
Plus the new case, the other thousands, so the 3.
Yes, correct. Mr. Griggs, were you planning to represent yourself or are you asking for court-appointed counsel? I asked that question because you did not put any information on the court-appointed application. Excuse me? You want an attorney? Sir, I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you provide to the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self you got? All right, sir, are you working? Okay, I think you need to sit back because I can't hear you. And then, so are you working? And when was the last time you were employed? I still can't hear you. Say that again. A month ago, what happened with that job? I can't hear him.
I got laid off.
How long had you been on that job?
For like 6 months.
And prior to that, when were you working? I couldn't hear you. I still can't hear you.
Incarcerated before that, so I wasn't working anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. he will likely try to reach out to you today. Attorney Dabney?
Good morning, Your Honor, and good
morning.
morning, Mr. Griggs. Yes, I will be giving you a call later this afternoon after court just to discuss with you your cases and see how you want to move forward, as well as discussing how to post bond, okay?
All right. Mr. Griggs. Jawan Johnson. Mr. Johnson, you have charge of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You have $1,000 bond. Will you be able to post bond?
I'm trying to.
All right, if you're not able to post bond, you'll also be brought back on Monday. And Mr. Johnson, I did not see an application in here. Let me just double check. Oh, I do see one now. Okay, in a second. All right, Mr. Johnson, the amount that you put on here is what you receive every week. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And before I go any further, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you provide to the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, self you got?
do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Go back to your application. And no children, is that correct? I didn't hear you, Mr. Johnson. Do you have any children? Still can't hear you. Maybe the phone doesn't work. It's not the phone because I'm not talking with you at the court. We're on computer. It must be a certain way you have to sit in order for me to hear you.
I said no, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you. Give me one moment. All right, Mr. Johnson, unfortunately, based on the information you provided, you also do not qualify for court-appointed counsel. So you will either need to hire your own attorney or represent yourself. Do you have any questions?
I have a hold at Cherokee County. I'm trying to see if I post bond here. Will I stay in here until Cherokee County come get me?
You will likely be picked up by Cherokee County only after you've posted the bond here. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to your case. Bear with me. Okay, let's see if I can, it's trying to, but you already know you have the hold, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so Cherokee County will be notified of your case here, and then they will be able to come and pick you up. All right?
All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Next person is Marty Sims.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sims. Mr. Sims, you're here for a probation violation. And I can tell you your underlying charges, if you bear with me a moment. Your underlying charges are possession of marijuana less than an ounce, failure to obey traffic control device, and no driver's license. And this looks like it was from 2018. Well, the underlying charge was from 2016. It looks like you went on probation for these charges and failed to follow through with your probation. So this case is going to be reset. Mr. Golston? Officer Golston?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. You want this on Monday? It's gonna be on Monday, Ms. Cheater, for the probation violation, revocation?
It'll be on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Sims. You'll be brought back on Wednesday, but between now and then, Officer Golston is likely to come and speak with you regarding the nature of your case and if you can resolve it prior to Wednesday. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, 1 second. I don't think I saw, yeah, I did see a court-appointed application in here, and I have appointed. Let's see, did I appoint you? Okay, you are being appointed to be represented by a court-appointed attorney. And, oh, Attorney Dabney?
Yes, Your Honor. And Mr. Sims, I'll be giving you a call. I'm gonna speak to Officer Golston with probation to see if we can come to some sort of resolution on your case, okay? If no resolution is made before Wednesday, then you'll be coming back out on Wednesday, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sims. You're welcome. Next person is Anthony Solis.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Solis. Mr. Solis, you're also here for probation violation.
Yes, ma'am.
Looks like your underlying charge was following too close from 2022.
Can I have a question? They never give me an email or something about
We had to get
probation?
another attorney for him, somebody else.
Ms. Cheater, you're not on mute.
I was gonna let them know.
It's okay. One moment, Mr. Solis.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Solis, you went on probation in June of 2022. And
Okay.
one moment. And what is your question?
My question is that I never had an email about the accident. I paid the accident already. We know that, but they never received me a email or a mail about probation.
What's your question though? Do you have his probation form, Officer Goldston?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm looking back through the notes. I spoke with Mr. Solis on September the 20th because he missed his appointment. I called and talked to him. He said he was going to make his payment on September the 23rd, and he never did. So he was well aware of this case, Your Honor, because I spoke to him personally myself.
Mr. Solis, this case is going to be reset for your revocation hearing for Wednesday, July 5th. And let me go back into your case. I do see you're asking for court-appointed counsel, so give me a moment.
Okay.
Mr. Solis, your balance is $387. Do you have somebody that can pay that for you to get out?
Yes, I do.
I will call you at the jail. If you know their phone number, I will call you at the jail. If you can give me their phone number, or
Okay.
No. Do not give phone numbers out in this forum.
yeah, I'll call you at the jail, and you can give me your information then, and I will reach out to them and see if they can pay. Because if they can pay it, then you can be released, and that'll close your case out.
When can I be released, sir?
When they pay the $387, you can be released. I'll send the paperwork for them to release you. So
Okay.
like I said, I'll call you when the judge is done with you all today. I'll call you, and they'll bring you up to the phone and see if you can give me that contact information. If you know it.
If I pay today, do I get released? Okay.
One moment. He can't tell you when you're going to be released, sir. You'll be released after your process, which will be within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
He's telling you how you can resolve the case today and to be able to be released prior to possibly on Wednesday. But Mr. Solis, you do have an application for court-appointed counsel. Did you want to continue to represent yourself, or are you going to want an attorney to represent you?
Came to represent myself.
All right, so you're going to decline court-appointed counsel?
To represent myself, what does that mean?
You're not going to have an attorney?
Let me have I'm gonna have my own attorney.
Okay, so you're going to hire your own attorney. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so if you're still here, you'll be brought back out on Wednesday. Do you have any questions?
So any bond out today? Can I bond out today?
You don't, sir, you don't have a bond because this is a probation revocation. In order for you to be released, as Officer Goldston just explained, you will have to pay in full the balance of your probation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next person is Lance Vincent.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hello, Mr. Vincent. Give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Vincent, you're here on a failure to appear where your underlying charges are disorderly conduct and obstruction. You have a bond on each of those three charges for $1,000 for a total of $3,000. Will you be able to post bond?
May I say some? Well, to answer your question, no.
Okay.
During that time period, I was going between homelessness. I was in between homelessness. So I apologize about the failure to appear.
All right, sir, one moment. This is not a chance for you to resolve your case. So give me one moment before you continue.
Yes, ma'am.
You filled out an application for court-appointed counsel. So I need to look at this. You'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the information you provide to the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
One moment. All right, Mr. Vincent, are you working?
No,
And when was the last time you did work?
I recently lost my job due to incarceration.
Recent as when?
As recent as a few days ago,
And where were you working?
I was working at Bojangles.
How long had you been there?
I was there for about 3-4 months.
Okay, all right, I'll appoint the court-appointed attorney to represent you.
Thank God.
Attorney Dabney?
And yes, and good morning, Mr. Vincent. I will be giving you a phone call after court concludes today to
Please.
discuss how we can go about resolving your case, okay?
Please.
And Your Honor, when is this case going to be
This is-
reset?
It's going to be reset for Wednesday, July 5th.
Okay.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Mr. Vincent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Judge, they're bringing up Mr. Brown now.
And then I have a Christopher Kent also. Christopher Kent?
He bonded out.
Okay. So there apparently is someone in there wasn't supposed to come out. The one who came up to the window and told me Mr. Brown wasn't in there.
I'm not sure who that was.
Hello,
What's your name, sir?
it's George.
Oh, that's Mr. George. He's gonna come back out on Monday because Attorney Cuthbert wasn't available today.
All right, so Mr. George, remember I believe it was Wednesday, you were told that you were going to have a different attorney because Attorney Dabney is representing the alleged victim or the co-defendant in this case. But the attorney that we appointed you to is not available today, so you'll be brought back out on Monday. Your bond still remains the same.
Y'all, it didn't count where I can be helping them, the nurse here at the jail, they have, I have colonoscopy, I've been bleached, stool bleeding ever since.
Sir, one moment. That's not information that you should be saying because this is being recorded. You need to talk with the officers there regarding to seeing the nurse. Ms. Cheater, if you can make sure that they let him speak with the nurse. All right, Mr. George, thank you.
Yes, now, is there any kind of way, man, we can help the judge, like, help me with time my bond or something like that?
No, sir, your bond is remaining the same at 1,500.
Then if I can't sign, that's all because,
No, sir. No, sir.
that's right.
In fact, 1 second, one second, Mr. George.
Yes,
Let me
ma'am.
look, because I think when I looked at this later, he has a few cases where the victim is the same person. So, Mr. George, I'm actually going to add special conditions to your bond that you have no further violent contact. And her name was spelled correctly, but I couldn't find it initially, but it's Janelle.
Yes, ma'am. That's my sister.
I can't
George.
remember her. Janelle.
Bethany.
Mhm. We'll get her name. 1 second. I happened to continue to look up the other day.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a moment.
I am so sick, ma'am. I am not lying. The nurse already know about it, yeah.
And Your Honor, the last name is Bethley.
Spell it for us.
Yes, Your Honor. Janelle is Jenelle. Last name is Bethley, B as in boy, Ethley.
And I'm not sure that that E is on her name because I think when I looked it up, I didn't see the E, but I
Okay,
believe I
is it
ended
just
up typing it.
the LY? Okay.
Yeah, I believe I ended up typing her name, her last name in and just a J, which is how I found it later.
Gotcha.
I don't know why it didn't come up because you spelled it correctly,
Yes, ma'am.
except for her first name. So Mr. George, again, you'll have special conditions to have no further violent contact with Janelle Bethley. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Understand.
All right, De'Aaron Brown,
Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing Monday. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank
you're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. De'Aaron Brown, Mr. Brown, you are here for a probation violation where you had and a failure to appear. Looks like 2 failure to appear. You had the underlying charges of failure to obey traffic control device and drive on license suspended or revoked. And this is from back in 2016. See, give me one moment. All right, I understand that you declined representation of the court-appointed counsel, so you're either going to hire your own attorney or represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Officer Golston? Did you want to say anything to Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown, if you're,
Yes, Your Honor.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mr. Brown, you owe a total of $2,348. Looks like that's the only condition that you have. So we'll reach out to you if you're representing yourself at the jail and see if there can be some arrangement made before. Is this reset for Wednesday, Your Honor, the 5th?
Yes,
as well?
Wednesday.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Brown, so your case will be reset for Wednesday, July 5th. Officer Golston explained that he'll reach out to you prior to that date to tell you what you can do to resolve your case prior to Wednesday. Okay?
All right.
Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I believe, Ms. Cheater, that concludes our calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
I only appointed 3, Mr. Griggs, Mr. Sims, and Mr. Vincent. And I
Yes.
believe that at least one of those is already in the system, but I'll double check to make sure.
Okay.
And I'll get those in a few minutes. All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend. Happy 4th of July.
Same
Thank
here.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bye.